It's now 5:33 as the last few kids get ready to go back to school. Many parents are wondering how their child will get to school on time with all of the construction out there. It's hard to get anywhere on time when you're driving through all those orange cones. The Valley Today's Christy Larson joins us live with more on what the city and schools are doing to get students to school. Tomorrow it's back to class for all those Minnesota kids. Hi, Christy.
Yeah, I know some kids excited, some kids dreading that first day of school, but it's one of those things that we're going to see more traffic tomorrow out on the roads, not only around Minnesota, but also in Moorhead. And it's not just the orange cones that parents are going to be dealing with, but now the yellow school buses too. So one of the things that the city is actually working with Moorhead schools on to keep buses on schedule and on time and to get students to class on time is they're actually going to be opening just for school buses. They're going to be opening 8th Street going southbound so that they can get kids to and from school. Now, again, that's only going to be for those school buses. And then they said maybe later this week they'll be opening it up for the whole public. But one of the big concerns is obviously 20th Street South. Now, the city engineer said that they already were at almost capacity for cars on that street. And now that they've had 8th Street set down, he said that they're over that capacity for how many cars should be driving on 20th Street. So a lot of people have been having to deal with that as well. Now, some of the school zones that they're concerned about are actually Moorhead High School because they are on 20th Street. More cars are going in that direction. They said that they're still worried about that crosswalk. And last year, they actually had 2 students get hit in that crosswalk. They've tried to do some improvements in that area, but they said that they're still working on getting even more improvements. But one of the things police are going to be doing is they are going to be keeping an eye on people's speed, their full complete stops, and any distracted driving around the school zones. And they said they're not there to give tickets, they're just there to make sure everyone is safe.
Education to that driver that they might not be aware of or may not have encountered before if they're dropping off their children for the first time to school and aren't aware of the school safety speed zones. So a lot of part of our job is the educational piece to educate the parents and the students how to be safe around the schools.
Now, some police officers are going to be jumping on some school buses again this year. They said it might not be in the beginning of the week, but they are going to be keeping an eye on some of those drivers and how they're acting around those kids, around those school buses and around those school zones. And in Minnesota, it's actually a $500 fine if you go around a school bus when the stop arm is out. So something you definitely don't want to do, something you need to be aware of. And Lisa, as you've mentioned before, anytime you're driving around construction, whether you're going to school, maybe going to work, or maybe even just trying to get around, you need to plan ahead because we still have to put up with this kind of into almost the end of October.
Yeah, construction season's not over just because it's back to school time. Christy Larson reporting live for us. Thank you, Christy.